You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Bill Belichick and the Atlanta Falcons to a certain extent. And what exactly is going on with Bill Belichick and this Falcons job? Because, well, all of a sudden, all these interviews are emerging out. And look, Atlanta's already done several interviews with other coaches, but they've done 2 interviews with Bill Belichick. Well, I did a video yesterday. They're set to do a second interview with Jim Harbaugh. Now, my question is, and some people are starting to speculate, that Bill Belichick hasn't decided whether or not to take this job yet. Now, it's been told out there that Belichick turned down the Eagles and turned down the Cowboys. But there's been no official public call made about that Eagles job. Not yet. Not that I've seen. All right? And I find that interesting. But it does make you wonder, because there's no world where I think the Falcons are out thinking Bill Belichick. I mean, they may be playing like checkers and he's playing 3D chess right now, but something strange is going on. And part of me wonders, does he know something we don't about one of these teams that's still playing? I got to thinking about that. Now, obviously, nothing's going on with Dan Campbell. That would never happen. All right? Andy Reid, safe, right? But is Todd Bowles, and look, I would think Todd Bowles would be safe. You made the playoffs, second year in a row, post Tom Brady, a team that everybody thought was going to win, 1 to 4 games, won 9 games, got in the playoffs, rebooted Baker Mayfield's career. But there's been a little talk. There was a little talk before the end of the season about Todd Bowles, and earlier in the year, there was a lot more fire around Belichick and the Buccaneers. In fact, back in November, there was a lot of fire. This was all Buccaneers Belichick crap, all right? All this stuff, and one of the reasons everybody sort of started looking at this was Jason Light down there, the general manager, having ties with Bill Belichick. Is there a world where he's waiting to see what happens there? Is there and there could be a mystery team going on here. The other one that I find interesting, and this was an article that was written out of the blue back in November also, but it was about the Buffalo Bills and Belichick. And I've heard that from various members of the New England media that I listen to and have listened to involving the Belichick saga I listen to the media, the Patriots media anyway, but a lot of the podcasts, the insiders, guys close to the team, even some of them that are national, even they had brought up the Bills from time to time. And if Sean McDermott gets, let's say, boat raced, in the same way that the Packers boat raced the Cowboys, and I still think Jerry Jones has made a huge mistake. A huge mistake. He has even come out and said he's not going to extend Mike McCarthy. But could the Bills be in on Belichick? Is Belichick waiting for something here? Because this is interesting, all right? The Falcons desperately want Bill Belichick as the organization's next head coach, according to Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports. So it's not an issue with the Falcons, all right? Even though the Falcons are the fans want Ben Johnson and they're probably going to interview him, even though there's a second interview booked with Jim Harbaugh. Joe Brady is getting an interview here. So even though all of that's happening, quote, that source says it's 50-50 right now that Bill Belichick takes that Falcons job. That's interesting because just 2 days ago, Just 2 days ago, this is the New York Post. Atlanta Falcons a near lock to land Bill Belichick, according to latest odds. And look, these sports booking agencies like DraftKings, MGM, they know this stuff. They hear it. They get the news a lot of times before anybody else knows. They've got somebody involved. He was a minus 300. I mean, a minus 300. He was far and away the favorite to grab this job. Now, I've seen some backlash from some Falcons fans talking about local culture and this and that and the other. I guess my deal is, who cares? If you can get a coach that can win, a winning coach, and this pertains to Harbaugh and Belichick. I don't understand why anybody's even bringing something like that up far as the city goes. I mean, there's been rumors of like Raheem Morris. Are you kidding me? Hell, if you're going to hire Raheem Morris back, just call Dan Quinn. Get him back in there. I mean, it's like the same kind of thing. And I do think Raheem Moore actually ends up getting a job. Raheem Morris, I think he ends up getting a job somewhere eventually, maybe. I mean, but I'm talking like a Carolina kind of thing, where it's a complete teardown, where a lot of different of these hotshot coordinators are going to be very skeptical to work for a David Tepper. So, yeah, Raheem Morris, this is the favorites according to the Atlanta fans. Ben Johnson, I understand. All right, I think he's very talented. He seems to be a really good play caller. I understand why people are interested in him. Would I be interested in him over Jim Harbaugh? Certainly not. Now you don't even have to think about that. I mean, how much winning does Harbaugh have to do? Belichick. No, I'm still taking Belichick there. And then we can start having conversations about Ben Johnson after the fact. But I guess I just wonder, and I got to thinking about this as I was looking around. I was like, why do we not have an announcement about Belichick and the Falcons yet? And then I saw this and was like, oh, it's Belichick who's 50-50 on taking this job. And I'm like, all signs pointed towards him absolutely taking the job 2 days ago. I made that video. And then there was an explosion of information coming out starting yesterday morning about second interviews with Harbaugh and other coaching guys. They were going, other coordinators, other assistant coaches, all these guys that were going to get interviews. And I'm like, what's going on with Belichick and the Falcons all of a sudden? And my only thought was, well, I had a couple of thoughts. Number one, there's a team in on Belichick right now that he's already talking to that none of us knows about. What team that is, whether it's the Chargers, maybe the Chargers are like, if we lose out on Harbaugh, we're in on Belichick. Okay? Commanders secretly talking to him. They've hired Adam Peters up there as the GM. We all thought that was the line to draw. Howie Long brought it up yesterday, I think it was, about the Commanders. The Commanders were supposedly out on it. Now, Belichick supposedly doesn't want to work with hardcore media, like you would have, the scrutiny you would have in Philadelphia. But Buffalo, Tampa Bay, I wouldn't think he'd go to Tampa Bay because of the Brady thing, but something very strange is going on with Belichick and the Falcons right now. And you saw what that source said, what that article said. This is not a question. The Falcons want to hire Bill Belichick. They're trying to hire Bill Belichick. It's Belichick that has not made the call on the job. He's 50-50. He's talking to somebody's agent. He's talking to in other words, he's talking to his agent. If he's using that agent, I assume he is. If he's not, he's having conversations with an ownership group right now that nobody knows about. That's the only thing that could be happening. He's having a conversation with another ownership group besides the Falcons. And I lay odds it's an ownership group that might shock us all. I don't think he would go to Seattle. So that's why I have not brought up Seattle. And Jerry's done jumped the gun and said he's bringing back McCarthy. He should have went the Eagles route and just stayed quiet for a while. Jerry should have stayed quiet for a couple of weeks, just in case he decided to change his mind. Could a media group be trying to hire Belichick for so much money that Belichick's like, F it, I'll go into TV? Can you imagine a program with Nick Saban and Bill Belichick both on the program? God, I wish they'd have a podcast together. That would be fantastic, listening to those two talk about football. This is getting weird, and it's going to get interesting. What the hell is going on with Belichick? Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 supporters, because once I said, well, I got to shoot this video because it's the Falcons that want him. But Belichick's like, not so fast. A little Lee Corso, not so fast. What's going on then? Money? I don't think it's Arthur Blank. I think Arthur Blank's got a blank check. No. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.